Hello, boys and girls. I'm Miss Hager, and I'm here today to read you a story. I'm so excited because we've been learning about community helpers, all of the people that work in our community and that work in our state and our country so that we can buy things, so that we can stay safe, and so that we can explore the world and even space. Today I have a wonderful story to read to you. Whose hat is this? It's asking us a question. That's why we see a question mark on the front cover. We're going to look at lots of hats in this book. Each hat belongs to a special worker, and we'll have to use our thinking brains to figure out what worker these hats belong to. Let's look at some people and some hats first. Here's a picture of someone that might be just like you. It's a child, and this child is wearing a hat on his head. I wonder why he's wearing that hat. What do you think? I think he's wearing that hat because it's snowing, and that warm winter hat keeps his head warm and his ears warm in the winter weather. Do you have a warm winter hat? After fall comes winter. Some hats are hard to protect our head. This is a construction worker. Say that with me. Construction worker. A construction worker is a person who builds things. They might build schools or stores or restaurants. And when you're building something, there's lots of wood and nails and screws around. So they wear a special hard helmet on their head called a construction worker hat. They're usually yellow like this. Do you know who this is? It's a police officer. Police officers wear special hats that have something called a badge or a shield on the front. That way, if you're out in the community and you need help, you always use your eyes to look and find the police officer that's wearing a hat with that special badge or shield on it. This, my friends, is a chef. I'm going to tell you that word because it's a little bit tricky. Can you say chef? Chef. A chef is a person who works in a restaurant, and their job is to cook the food that you're going to buy. Chefs wear a tall white hat like the one this chef is wearing in the picture. Community helper that keeps us safe, like a police officer, is a firefighter. Firefighters need to go into buildings where there's fire and smoke. They need to wear a special helmet that is hard, just like construction workers wear a hard hat. They wear that special helmet to protect their brains from anything that is falling. And that helmet has a shield that goes down in front of their face to protect their face from smoke. This is something you may have never seen before. This person is a beekeeper. They collect bees in these special boxes, and the bees make honey. A beekeeper wears a special shield over their faces so that they don't get stung by bees. Do you know what job this person has? This person is an astronaut. If you said astronaut, you are correct. An astronaut also wears a special helmet They wear a special helmet to protect their head and also to help them breathe, because in outer space you can't breathe oxygen. This last person, they're playing a special sport. Can you guess who this is? It's a football player. This football player also wears a special helmet on his head to protect his head if he falls down on the ground or if he falls and bangs his head on another football player's body. Let's read our book and find out more about these special community helpers. Whose hat is this? This story is written by Sharon Katz Cooper and illustrated by Amy Bailey Mullenhart. Here's our title page. I'll read the words again. Whose hat is this? Remember that question mark. They're asking us a question. Put on your thinking caps and guess whose hat is whose. There are hard hats and soft hats, square hats and round hats. There are even very tall hats. Some hats workers wear to keep them warm. Others wear hats to stay clean. A hat can block the sun from a worker's eyes. A hat can protect your head from getting hurt. Hats come in all shapes and sizes. Can you guess whose hat is whose? Oh, look. Whose hat is this? So bright and shiny. Use your brain and think. Whose hat could that be? Let's see. This is a firefighter's helmet. A firefighter. The firefighter runs into burning buildings to put out fires. Her helmet keeps her head safe from falling objects and from the extreme heat of the fire. Here's a fun fact. Firefighter helmets are usually red, yellow, or a bright neon color, so they can be quickly seen from a faraway distance through the black smoke. Whose hat is this, hanging over a face? A special screen on her face. Who could it be? This is a beekeeper's hat. A beekeeper raises bees for honey. She reaches into hives buzzing with bees to get honey. Her hat protects and covers her face and protects her from the bee stings. Another fun fact, beekeepers also wear coveralls. Coveralls is a special suit that covers you from your neck all the way down to your toes. And they wear gloves to protect their bodies from the stinging bees. Whose hat is this? That's a tricky one. So tall and clean. Who do you think it could be? It's a chef. This chef's hat, his hat is also called a toque. His white hat shows that his kitchen that he cooks in is clean. The chef in charge of restaurants wears the tallest white chef hat. Let's go to the next page. Oh, my eyes spy a special badge or shield on this hat. I wonder whose hat it will be. Whose hat is this? with a polished silver badge. Do you remember who wears a badge on their special hat so we always know it's them? This is the police officer's cap or hat. It is part of her uniform. A police officer's cap helps people find her quickly in a crowd because no one else is wearing a hat like her. That's the police officer. Whose hat is this? So round and strong. This is a very special helmet this person is wearing. This is a football player's helmet. When one football player tackles another football player, his helmet keeps his head safe if he hits the ground or bangs against another player. Football helmets have special linings and sides that have pads. These pads help the helmet fit snugly on every football player's head, so they protect their head and their brain that's inside your head. Whose hat is this, shining in the night? Oh, I don't know. Whose hat would be shining in the night? It's an astronaut. Can you say that word with me? Astronaut. This is an astronaut's helmet. This is part of his spacesuit. Up in space, there is no air. His helmet gives him the air he needs to breathe and keeps his body at the right, steady temperature. So his helmet not only protects his head or her head, it also has oxygen inside to help them breathe because there's no air in space, and it keeps their body at the right temperature. That means you don't get too hot or too cold while the astronaut is in space. Whose hat is this, so hard and yellow? The construction worker. This is a construction worker's hard hat. Sometimes workers drop pieces of wood or sharp nails while they are working on a construction site. A construction worker wears a special hard hat to protect his head. Whose hat is this, so warm and snug? Warm, snug hat. This is your hat, or a hat just like yours. When it is cold outside, this hat can keep your head warm. When it snows, it keeps your head dry. Here's another fun fact about winter hats. Hats can be made of yarn, or fleece, or wool, or cotton, or even leather. Some winter hats even have flaps, like this hat does, to cover your ears and keep your ears warm in the cold winter weather. Just for fun, point to the picture of the hat described in each sentence. We're going to play this guessing game, boys and girls. There are 1, 2, 3 fun facts. I'm going to read each fun fact to you, and we need to look at the 3 pictures and use our brains to decide what fact what fact the helmet or hat is talking about. Let's try fact number 1. I have a special netting to protect a worker's face. What hat in these pictures has a special netting to cover and protect a worker's face? Is it this one, or this one? If you said it's the middle one, you are correct. It's the beekeeper's hat. A beekeeper has a special netting to protect his or her face from bee stings. Let's read fact number 2. I have a shiny badge and stand out in a crowd. What hat has a shiny badge on it so the person wearing that hat stands out in a crowd if we need them to help us? Is it this one? Is it this one? Or is it this one? If you said the last hat, you are correct. This police officer's hat has a shiny badge, so we can spot a police officer if we are out somewhere and we need their help. Let's read fact number 3. I protect an athlete's head. An athlete is a person who plays a sport, like football or basketball, baseball or hockey. Let me read that clue again. I protect an athlete's head. What hat could it be? Is it this one, or this one, or this one? It is the first one. It is the football player's helmet. A football player is an athlete, and he wears a special hat called a helmet to protect his head. Thank you, boys and girls, for joining me for our thematic read aloud today. I hope you enjoyed our story.